Hello and welcome back to Henford on Bagley in 1320. We have a little goblin with us in her Harry Potter PJs. We start off with Ireliana just absolutely imbibing chaotic energy with a lot of anger. I don't know if she's still going through some kind of mean streak or some phase related to teenagehood, but she is just like constantly swearing. Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know. Maybe she's going through the loud phase. I could definitely see that happening. Yeah. Tell me about yeah, you have a lot to say too. Annie has opinions. So I really need to figure out, is there a default replacement for the homework? I'm sure there is, because they keep autonomously pulling it out and it looks awful because it's bright pink. Why it's bright pink, I have no idea. Ireliana, calm down. It's okay, girl. It's okay. To be fair, things are pretty bad. Little bit of a disclaimer with this episode. I discovered that my mortality rules are actually significantly worse than we originally thought. Yeah, is not good. So I looked at my spreadsheets and discovered that both Ireliana and John die as teenagers. So that's not great. Considering the fact that John is our heir and Ireliana is like the only other marriageable age sim that we have in the household. So I don't know what's gonna happen here. Moral of the story, I'm terrified. So we really need to get rolling with having Carolina and John actually have some kids, because I, at this point, am very fearful that everyone's gonna die and we are going to have no one, and I'm going to lose the challenge right off in generation 2. But in the meantime, we of course have a lot of work to do. So Carolina is pregnant, so we will just kind of have to wait that out. She barely looks pregnant this entire pregnancy. She's so tiny, and she's cute. Her sister Sophia comes to visit as well. I love Sophia. You do too? Yeah. Sophia is great because she does a lot of like cleaning around the house and like autonomous repairing. I don't know why she does that, but it's the best. But Carolina is actually oftentimes very flirty, which is really interesting, because John is not a very flirty sim. He's just kind of like existing at this point. But in this family, with how many people have died, like all you can really hope for is to exist at this point. It's so bad. I also realized that no one in the household lives until elderhood, because of the era that we're in. For some reason, I thought that we were still rolling for elders. That's not the case. So I had to sort of re-roll everyone to figure out when they die. I also realized that Adrick was supposed to die like 10 days ago. So, we need to kill him this episode, which breaks my heart a lot, but it's something we have to do. I mean, he can join his late wife, Briar. Oh, I'm so sorry, Ireliana. This child, Shaywin, wakes her up at all times of the night, especially now that John is sleeping across the hall. She is sort of the closest person to Shaywin's nursery, and so he gets her up every time. All right, let's make some boiled eggs. We really need to go to the store soon because we're just like running super low on food. Like we have bread, cheese, and eggs, and like that's pretty much it. We are out of flour and butter, although I think we could make butter because we have milk. So maybe that's something we should consider doing. But it is super early. Everyone is really still sad from the previous death. And Ireliana actually ages up into a teenager today. And so I am very excited about that because that means we can get her married. So I give her a little bit of an updated look. I'm trying to phase out some of the like weird brighter red hair for something a little bit more like natural ginger. So I do change her hair color. Please stand with me as I am navigating the chaos of Alpha CC hair colors because it's a nightmare, but it's a nightmare that I am, choosing to participate in. And I think she's adorable. I feel like Ireliana is going to be a fairly romantic sim, I say as she, picks some roses in the front yard. and begonias. But despite the fact that she's very sad, she's also a very energetic sim. So I feel like she would have a lot of energy for romance and just kind of, like, she's not really in a flirty mood all the time like her sister-in-law Ireliana. I get this romantic vibe from her, you know? So we're going to play into that. She still has some degree of whimsicality, you know, playing in the pond, even as a teenager. Well, that's Ireliana, but she's just really sad. I guess Ireliana completely missed the death, and so she doesn't have any of the death moodlets, whereas everyone else is just miserable, except for Adrick, who appears to be focused. But you know what? He's at work. We're just gonna let that happen. It's okay. So we have a little bit of laundry doing in the rain, which is very, very unideal time to be doing laundry, but it's gotta get done, you know? Even in the rain, we also have John working on his woodworking. And some of you guys suggested a really great mod that I hadn't discovered before about having like home businesses on your lot. And so that would be perfect because we could sell some produce maybe. We could sell John's woodworking stuff. So I go ahead and download that. I'm not playing with it yet. We'll probably start working with that next episode or the episode after, just because I need to save up a little bit of money so we can actually open up a storefront at home. But that's perfect for this time period because we do have a lot of like, it's not necessarily the cottage industry that we have more towards the 19th century, but we do have a lot of people working out of their homes. So I think that's a really great suggestion. I got a bunch of other really wonderful mod suggestions from you guys too. So after this episode, what is going on? After this episode, I also download the mod that like creates regionality within the neighborhoods, and so only people from this neighborhood are going to show up in this neighborhood, which I thought was really great because then I don't have to decorate every sim in the entire world to look medieval at a time. I can go neighborhood by neighborhood. Unfortunately, Henford-on-Bagley is ridiculously small, but anyways, so I decide to celebrate her teenagehood. We're going to send Ireliana off to the pub, have a little wooing with Art Fleming here, who some of you guys suggested really interesting comments. I think it actually is Prince Charming from Shrek that I'm thinking of, but someone called him Ellen DeGeneres and I died a little bit. But we can only do like 3 flirty interactions because she's so sad all the time. But he does seem to be reciprocating. Like, he's not exactly the easiest sim to woo because he is an evil slob. He also leaves, and then Ireliana is just really upset and sad and alone in the pub because no one else is medieval. But it's great. It's great. We're working on it. We're getting there, guys. We're getting there. Okay, I don't think you want that. Annie Banani. She scratched her forehead last night. So we have a little bit of a crash. And we invite him back over, and things start going a little bit better this time. So eventually her sad moodlets are going to phase out. Eventually, I hope. I mean, she doesn't even seem happy about the gift. Like, look, she has a sad moodlet about the gift too. Oh, good burp. Okay, so here's the thing. I had this whole storyline planned out for these two, where he was going to like woo her and bed her and get her pregnant and then leave because he's evil, you know? And then she would be raising a baby on her own. However, discovering that she dies as a teen, that child would just end up back at our house. And let's be real, I don't want that. We have enough chaos at the main house because they have no other family. So the kid would either just be adopted out or go back to the family. And I think historically the kid would go back to family members. So we romance them with the intention of marriage, which isn't my original, dramatic plotline. But we're going to have to move on and live with it. Yeah, it's not good. It's not good. So Ireliana is really angry. She's enraged. It's at this point that I'm trying to remember if Sims can die from being enraged because she is so angry this entire time. I don't know what's wrong with her, but oh great, she hates cooking too. Delightful. This is wonderful. The woman of the house, once Gretchen dies, hates cooking. I think she also might hate gardening. Like, this girl hates everything. I've never seen a sim cook with such anger and malice in their heart before, but Ireliana is doing it very strongly. So we finally save up enough money and we buy a new cow, which is really exciting because now we have milk again. So I'm also not great at taking care of the cow because I always forget in this game that you have to call the cow out of the barn to actually take care of it, which is really annoying. I will never get over how annoyed I am about how much they phoned it in on the cow. Ooh, okay, Ireliana has gone into labor. This is exciting. She appears to still be angry, but I don't think she's at least enraged anymore. She's just very uncomfortable. Yeah, she didn't want to see the death. Oh, so you did see the death. Okay, so you're just mad that you saw a death? You aren't sad, though? Ireliana, that's not a good look. That's really not a good look. Okay, so let's go have this baby. Yeah, another baby, Annie. Another baby. And let's see what it's gonna be. Gosh, I hope we have an heir because I am scared. Because if we don't have an heir and John, dies sooner, not good. Not good at all. So, but I do know when he's going to die, and I think we can keep trying. Okay, it's going to be a girl. So let's take a look at our handy dandy list that I have. I think we're gonna go with the name Celestina, just because it's pretty. I don't know. I like that name. And we have a girl, so it's time to do her mortality rolls. And I can say with great pleasure that her mortality rolls go swimmingly. She survives birth. Ireliana survives birth. Everyone survives. And she goes all the way into adulthood. So yay, that's really exciting. Just to get a move on things, because we have roughly 12 days to get Ireliana married and having kids, because I want to make sure we have enough people in the family. We're getting things rolling. He's scared, I guess, probably from the thunderstorm. My Sims really don't like thunderstorms, but that's okay. That is okay. I'm also really hating this Talk Like a Pirate Day, but I forget to remove these things from the calendar, so we're just gonna live with it. Also, if you didn't notice, Gretchen is still pregnant as well. She's a trimester or two behind Ireliana. Ooh, that did not go well. These two are hot and cold. Like, one minute he'll kiss her and give her a rose, and the next it's just like, But I guess why I keep having my Sims marry evil Sims, I don't know. But apparently I really have it out for my Sims. So I let them have a little woohoo. Oh, you shouldn't be using birth control. We need to figure out how to fix that. Oh, guys. Okay, so Adrick got struck by lightning. I didn't even notice. But I'm taking this opportunity, that's right, to kill him. Because he was supposed to die at least 10 days ago, and it's past his time. So we're going to pretend that he actually got struck by lightning and died. So unfortunately, it's like in the same room as his daughter and her new lover, which is really awkward, but c'est la vie. So we have Grim. I also end up downloading the replacement for Grim's outfit and everything. It's just gonna show up next episode. We have a ton of fun new mods. So if you have any great mod recommendations for medieval Sims, link them to me, because I'm still more familiar with The Sims 2 than I am The Sims 4. We're learning, And I really appreciate when you guys give me suggestions. So at least Art has, the wherewithal to cry, unlike Ireliana at the past death of the family. And everyone's pretty torn up. Ireliana, again, misses the death completely. and is having an absolutely great day. She goes to woohoo her husband, who just lost his father, but I guess it's a distraction, so you know what? Like, good on you guys, I guess. And poor Gretchen. Gretchen has lived long enough to go from being the villain to the victim. And you can't say that about everyone. But she's still a young adult, so she actually still has a little ways to go. So we're not going to kill Gretchen off yet. These two, I think, like, could I have planned a cute little engagement and everything for them? Yes. Do I feel like I have time to do any of that? No. So I just go ahead and I propose to Art in the middle of the front yard. Again, not my most shining hour as a Sims 4 player, but desperate times call for lazy measures, and we are just gonna get it rolling. So we're going to elope in the middle of the kitchen, just to continue with the lazy efforts here, and, you know, just to get things going as quick as possible. And then we'll go ahead and move them in together. So Art already lives somewhere, but Annie, that's the microphone. Art already lives somewhere, but we need to have him live somewhere else in this neighborhood, because I am going to play this neighborhood until it's completely full, and then, you know, we can move on from there. Just for realism's sake, I don't know. I mean, guys, this neighborhood is so small. It's ridiculous. I get it. Optimization for low-end computers, but oh my gosh, like Windenburg wasn't this small. All right, so it turns out that he's living with like a bunch of his siblings and some Sims who aren't related to him at all, and I can't even figure out how he's related to them. I looked in his family tree and I could not find these Sims. So I'm guessing they're like step siblings or something. So we move them in together and we take a 500 simoleon dowry. We sold a bunch of flowers and stuff, so we actually had money. And I send them to this little cottage in, you know, the more like downtown Main Street area. And we just kind of replace all the walls because we cannot have wallpaper yet. I think this is the house that Claire Chabon made, if I'm remembering correctly. It is pretty small and we have a lot of Sims, but you know what? That's historically accurate. And we have a completely empty attic. So I will be having some Sims sleep in the attic. And, you know, it is kind of nice to play with some of my new custom content that I've downloaded at the very least. They're still kind of peasants, but they're a little bit like higher level peasants. Like, they're not middle class yet. And like the phrase middle class isn't even like, social classes don't really come in until the Industrial Revolution per se. Although in this era, we would probably prefer to use the word rank. Most likely, historians get real fussy about using the words class in the wrong eras. It's like a whole thing. I never really cared, but it's fine. So here's his sister. I think she's really cute. She's also, it appears as though everyone else in their family also experienced a death recently. I don't know whose death. It might have probably been Art and his sibling's parent, one of them at least. And I go ahead and have them try for a baby because I want this. Oh, I want this to get going. Yes, I do. And so I don't normally have them check to see if they're pregnant. But just because I want to get things going, we do. So it turns out that she's pregnant. Now, back at the main house, Ireliana is still enraged. This poor woman. If she were going to die from being enraged, I am positive it would have happened by now, because she has been enraged literally for days. Gretchen is starting to... What is the matter? Do you not want your milk? She's like distracted and drinking milk at the same time by the computer. So Ireliana, I also decide to have her take a little pregnancy test. I'm kind of breaking my own rules here, but fear takes over, and I'm convinced that we're not going to have an heir. So we go ahead and we tell John that we are pregnant, which is really exciting. Celestina will have another sibling, hopefully. And we also take Adrick's grave to the graveyard. Unfortunately, I don't put him next to Briar because he has remarried, which kind of makes me a little sad, but Briar is next to all of their dead children, which is a lot of dead children. Oh my gosh, so many dead children. I'm sorry, guys. This is like the most morbid thing ever, and I thought my Victorian challenge was morbid, but this really takes the cake completely. So we do a little bit of decorating. I put a hibiscus in front of his grave because that's like the only thing I can find. I need to download some more CC plants. So hook me up with some great recommendations for those too if you know of any. And our little graveyard is scarily full for 1.5 generations of people. Like, yeah. This is not going well. So I also spend a little bit of the extra money that we have from the flowers and produce on a loot, just because it feels like we need a little bit more stuff for my Sims to have fun with. And I thought a loot would be perfect for that, you know? Like, just something kind of like bardy and fun, and everyone can play it if they want. 13/21 arrives, and hopefully this is going to be an uneventful year. Yeah, let's hope. But of course, that's always a bit of a gamble. Ireliana has made eggs for everyone again, because she hates cooking and will not put energy into anything else. What? Did you want to look at the screen again? She's just like going back and forth between eating and staring at the computer. Woo. There we go. I think we need a nap, but that's okay. Okay, so Ireliana's enraged again. John is very sad, but you know what? We need to get some produce and stuff and groceries, so I send them out to the markets. Unfortunately, we can't go to all of them, but we are trying. And lo and behold, weirdly enough, Gretchen is being maternal to Ireliana's daughter. I wasn't expecting this because Gretchen has been a really absent parent, although some of you suggested that she's probably struggling with depression because she's lost a lot of her kids, and now she lost her husband. So, and she's pregnant. So like Gretchen is not really getting the long end of the stick in any situation here. So I think it's kind of nice that it's coming full circle, and even after Adrick's death, it may have been a little bit of a kick in the pants. Like, I need to step it up for my kids because I'm not the only one struggling here. Like, everyone else is struggling with this death too. And, like, I can be a good parent. I can be a good mom. And they need me to be that because now I'm the only one. So she actually starts checking in on Shaywin too, which is just so nice. And lo and behold, she goes into labor. So let us see what we're gonna get. I'm scared. I'm really scared. This woman has lost so many children. I really don't want her mortality rolls to go badly. I feel like Gretchen needs some kind of reprieve. All right, it's a boy. So let's go ahead and name him Godric. There we go. There's Godric, and it's time for the mortality rolls. And I can say that the baby survives infancy. And Gretchen survives. How long the baby survives is another story, but we'll come back to that probably next episode. Why is this game so hard? I don't understand. Like, The Sims 4 literally went from being the easiest game ever to the hardest game ever. I also still need to figure out a mod that makes fires more dangerous here because I don't like that they autonomously can put them out. Because I feel like fires would be more devastating. However, we've already had 2 or 3 fires in this household alone. So maybe I don't want to do that because then the house would have been engulfed in flames twice and we would have probably had to rebuild twice. Which is not something that I am particularly keen on doing. So it is also Shaywin's birthday. He ages up into a child. Oh, thank God Shaywin is surviving. This is like, ugh. This might be Gretchen's only surviving child. Yeah. Yeah, it's not good. He's a cutie too. Like, I love his eyes. He's really cute. So let's go ahead. He's got like some light freckles here, but I like to CC him up a little bit, do a little alpha makeover, and this is kind of what we end up with. I'm definitely gonna change that hair. Yeah, we're gonna change the hair to something a little better. I still need some more hairs. I do have quite a lot of hairs for men at this point compared to in the past, but definitely not enough. Definitely not enough. So here he is. He kind of reminds me of Ildabad, maybe? A little bit? I don't know. It makes me a little sentimental. And we're going to give him the motor aspiration. And he's friendly. All right. Oh. So that is where we're going to end today. Thank you so much for watching. I am gonna go tend to my yelling baby. Bye. Are you chatting? You chatty?